How long were you in makeup?
Oh yeah, good question. It took about 4.5 hours to put it on. Okay, it took like 4 months for us to create the whole thing. There's a prosthetic, so I had to sit for a molding. They cast your whole head, you're breathing through straws, and then there's fake teeth. There was a glass eye. So ultimately, it would take about 4.5 hours to put it on. But you know, I had fun the whole time because I was a kid and I was having fun. And Tom Savini and his assistant Tasso Stavrakis were just renowned for being like the Cheech and Chong kind of of effects because, or maybe they were very funny. They were hilarious. So, you know, yeah, we had a great time together. I mean, there was a lot of hard work, and when it was time to work, you know, we would do the work. But then, you know, we were staying at the camp, so when it was a wrap, you know, we would all go swimming and have a good time. And I was like the only kid on a summer camp, so I had a lot of fun. And in fact, I last August and in the near future, I have been invited to do the Crystal Lake tours. Okay,
Ooh.
and Crystal Lake tours. If you ever get a chance, and you go to the actual location, the actual lake, the actual cabins, the shower where you know young girl played by Janine was killed, and all these different, you know, actual places. And then you watch Friday the 13th on the beach. All the proceeds, by the way, go to a charity to help kids go to summer camp. Like 1,000 kids get to go to camp every year because of that, those tours. And the tours, they just ended the spring tours, but there's more coming up in August. So everybody check that out. Crystal Lake Tours.
Cool. I was gonna ask you, where is Crystal Lake?
Oh, yes. That's important. It's in Hardwick, New Jersey. Hardwick, New Jersey, which is
Huh.
it's not too far from New York City. It's not too far from Philadelphia. You know, it's called the Delaware Water Gap over there. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of New Jersey, which I know many people don't have that image of New Jersey, but this is really, it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. And every horror fan, and especially Friday the 13th fans, should get an opportunity. You should go too.
Yeah, I want to go. Like that would be very cool. It looks warm there, so New Jersey doesn't. It doesn't say New Jersey when you look at the movie. It looks like kind of
Well,
warm
that
a little
was,
bit.
yeah, most of it was shot in August of 1979, and that was a hot summer, man.
Ooh.
That was a hot summer. The people there were happy to be. Most of them lived in New York City, and they kept telling me, "Man, it was so hot in New York. I'm so happy to be." They were happy to be out of the city, you know, up where they could get some fresh air, and they were all. I benefited from them being cool New York because they would be like Ari. They would they had 8-track tapes, okay, and they would sit me in the pickup truck, and they would say, Ari, okay, check out this band. Uh, um, they would put on like the Ramones, okay, or they would put on Patti Smith. They wanted me to hear Patti Smith, and they wanted me to hear the Crystals, and they wanted me to hear Bad Brains and all that music that they were listening to because they all lived in New York at that time. So that was a cool experience for me. Because there's a lot of off time when you're on the set, and they knew I was a musician, so they that was fun.
How long have you had your band?
Well, thank you. First, Jason, we put out our first album in 2009. Um, Now, I have been working in okay, after I did Friday the 13th, I went to college and everything, and I was studying like to be a jazz piano player, okay?
Oh.
And but then, I wanted to do, yeah, I wanted to do like jazz, but I was into like, real traditional jazz. But then like the kind of like Kenny G style jazz came out, And so because I had long hair, everybody was like, "Oh, you could do that like Kenny G style jazz," and I was like, "No, man, I'm into this like, Miles Davis, Cutting Edge," and they were like, "Kenny G." So I was like, "Oh man," So I started working in world music, okay, like African music, reggae music. That was very big in the '90s. So I ended up working Scope Records and Tough Gong Records as a keyboardist for band. And I actually got to tour and I did a lot of that stuff. So I was into reggae, okay? And then all of a sudden, somebody wrote me a letter saying, "Did you autograph this picture of little Jason?" And I was like, "What? I've never signed an autograph." And they said, "Because someone just charged me $50 for this on eBay." So I said, "Huh." Sure enough, somebody was forging my autograph.
Wow.
Anyway, long story short, I went to a convention and I met everybody and I said, "See, I play reggae music." And they were like, "Yeah, that's cool, but horror fans love metal and punk." So, I thought for a while, I said I should do a punk or metal project. And that's how First Jason began. I benefited from well, when I was in college, I was friends with the lead singer from Reagan Youth, which is a really cool punk band, and they're still around. They're unfortunately my buddy passed away a long time ago, but he wanted to learn about jazz and I wanted to learn about punk. So he would take me to CBGBs and I saw Bad Brains and I saw, Ramones. Again, I saw these bands live.
Wow. That must have been so crazy. I would die if I got to see that. Like that. See, we have a lot in common, believe it or not. I used to be in a bunch of punk bands, but I'm in the South, so our paths would never cross. But I was in a bunch of punk bands when I was younger, and then I actually was just in a horror movie called Tad Caldwell and the Monster Kid. It's not out yet, but I play this deformed mutant kid that gets abducted by aliens. Well, he's a normal kid, then he gets abducted by aliens, and they do all these experiments on him, and he's gone for 20 years. And when he comes back down to Earth, he's all deformed, and I had to do prosthetics and all this kind of stuff. So I was going to ask you something about your prosthetics in the movie, because when I had to do the thing where they put your whole face in the cast and everything, and they put the straws up your nose, and it kind of kind of lulled me to sleep. Do you remember having that feeling? Like a fainting feeling, but it was like a calm faint, kind of. It's like the light slowly dimmed off, kind of, for me, and I had to tap myself so that I wouldn't pass out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I was a little kid. I do remember it does put you in a kind of a trance, but like the first time we did it, it was alginate they were using. Okay, so the first time they did it, there was so much joking around that I had been laughing, and you could see like a smile on little Jason's face. So they said, "We can't use this." So this is a true story. The second time, Tom put on a record so I could just, kind of zone out and sit still, because I was a little kid, so I was fidgety. So he put on Jim Morrison and the Doors. "People are strange when you're a stranger." And I was like transfixed. So I listened to that whole album, and that's how, But no, I remember it as being a unique experience. maybe I just had so much jumpy energy. I didn't go into the meditation, but I do remember when they left, they said, okay, they had a barber chair, and I actually saw this room again recently. There's a mirror, and they just turned me around, okay? I had my eyes closed, and they left the studio, and they said, open your eyes, and boom, there was little Jason. Wow, man, that was crazy. That feeling, it just was like goosebumps. I was like, who's that? And I realized it was me.
Yeah, that was so good. Like I looked at a lot of like close-ups and stuff of the makeup and everything, and that was really impressive. Like that was very, very cool. Like very good.
I think Tom did an amazing job, and they all worked together to try to make it like they did a version which at first they thought people would be too sympathetic towards. So it's kind of, they wanted to have a balance. And that's the thing about the Jason character, even to this day, people, they know he's a terrible killer, but they still kind of feel sorry for him, you know?
Yeah, because you feel like he definitely got mistreated, but at the same time, he does kill all these people, but also it's like, you don't know if he's like mentally there. Obviously not, but like, you don't know if he can help it, kind of, almost in a way, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. Is it something he can't overcome? And I think it's important. It's different than, let's say, a Vader or Michael Myers even, or certainly Freddy or Leatherface. It's unique. It's kind of similar to Frankenstein's monster in a way, but I think the crucial thing is we can relate to Jason on a lot of levels. Just like, sure, Mama Voorhees is a killer, you know? She's a killer, but we to her and mother relate to her, you know? And I think everybody can relate to her on that kind of thicker than water kind of thing. So, you know, obviously, totally crazy nut job, right? But villain, we have this odd ability to kind of relate to, which appeals to the fans. Thank goodness. If it's the fans that keep Jason alive, man, let's face it.
Yeah, I was reading about it.
It's not for the fans.
Sorry, I was reading about just kind of general history about the movie and stuff like that, and it's crazy how big Jason is. Like, biggest horror franchise of all time. You could show a hockey mask to basically anybody on Earth and say, "Who is this?" and they would know. Like, I mean, it's almost like Coca-Cola or like Bugs Bunny or something like Jason. And also, it's like it's the mask and the suit and everything. It's like simple, but it's super iconic. So it's like everybody on Earth knows about it, and it's so crazy to me. I was gonna also the budget for the first one. It was like $550,000, I believe, for the entire movie, and then now they've made over $550 million or something like that. That is crazy. Like, that blew my mind. This must have been a ride for you. Because starting out, I mean, I would imagine, I mean, you knew if it was good or not, I would imagine. But I mean, I've been in some movies and you really don't know if it's going to be good. You can judge what you see of it, but you don't know if the people are idiots or like if they know what they're doing, or, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like, this part looks good. Like, you're kind of gathering, like, okay, this seems all right. Tom Savini's good. Yeah. That's something. And you're like piecing it together. But like, sure. You got so like just jettisoned into space from this, and it's so crazy. Like, what was that like going from, I don't know if this is even gonna be anything, to the most famous movie monster in the history of the Earth? Like, what, or when did you know that happened? Like, when did you realize, oh, this is insane?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. It's a great question. And I think that it really speaks to a very contemporary issue. It's, yes, we love a great monster, you know, we went through the 70s and they had The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby and The Omen and the Damien, and it's all about, and the underworld and sin and retribution. And guys just wanted to take a girl on a date and go see a horror movie and come home and get a little attention. They don't want to have to go home and think about like hell and like, you know what I'm saying? And then there was Jaws. Okay, Jaws came in and reminded us, oh, a monster. We love this. This is great. Bikinis, monsters. You see? So that's what Friday the 13th is kind of like, Jaws in the woods, if you will. It's that fun monster movie, but for some reason, it just appealed to the fans so much. And I insist that, especially because you look at it this way, Popsicle, okay, check it out. Every time Friday the 13th was released, it was a different production team, okay? Sean actually sold the rights to Steve Miner, who did part 2, 3. They had produced it together, but he was unsure of what was going to happen. Came back on board as a director, or well, not actually director, but associate producer in part 4, and had more influence then. But so, in other words, it was the fans. It was the fans that determined the success of Friday the 13th, and it is the fans that will continue to determine the success of Friday the 13th. And you look at it nowadays, like here we are, we're talking online to each other in a way that's accessible to the fans, right? Where we open up this discussion to the fans, okay? This wasn't even possible back then. But yeah, I think that we've all realized what it is, if you will, and I'll ask you if you agree, that what we are actually selling or what are we doing as entertainers now? Certainly that direct interaction with the fans, is so crucial, and having is so precious. I mean, because fans don't know us anything. I mean, let's face it, they're going to put time and money into what you produce as an artist. We should be giving to them. You know what I'm saying? And then the more that happens, the more real this whole thing is. So look at Friday the 13th. It's like a direct message. It's like if the fans love something, if the fans love a character, then that character will, actually become, as you said, an icon. Certainly, yes, in the big Jason form. But you look at it there. There's even religious characters where they say there's the baby version and there's the big version, baby Buddha and big fat Buddha. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of mind blower. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that it's in the imagination of the fans, and it's unstoppable.
Yeah. Speaking on what you were just saying, I think that we have an opportunity now to be far more intimate with fans and people that like our art and stuff like that. Like, because now you can put out videos in like a couple days or whatever. You can they have those cameo things. You can speak directly to the people. It's not back in the day, it would be on like stage or whatever. But now there are people, even if you don't know them, it's like you're friends with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that you watch and the people you listen to, they kind of like become part of your friend group or something like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's mutually validating. Okay, it's not just that relationship and the ability to have that response. It's really become so essential to what we're doing. Like, for instance, okay, with first Jason, I said to myself, well, maybe I can't actually make a movie about Jason fighting an army of zombies, but I could do a video about that. I could do a music video, and I did. That's the Victim music video. And we got our fans to play the zombies, and we got this magnificent Jason cosplayer, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. You can do anything. And then boom, like you said, you put it up online, and there it is. We did a video called Kill for Mother. We did a video called Voorhees is the Name. People love them. And they take a total different spin on the Jason idea. Actually, both of those are kind of anti-bullying themes about Jason. And you could, everybody check us out, First Jason on YouTube. But even more so, okay, I'm in Chicago. So a lot of the shows that I play are in the Midwest and South. So we go all over the country and we play largely in smaller towns. And, you know, I'm proud of them. And these, okay, like we come down there and we play Creepy Fest with Bill and Jen, you know, Bill Heinz and Jen Attaway in NOLA, baby. Those are the horror kids over there, Creepy Fest. You got to go check them, okay? I was in their movie Silk Scream, okay? So in other words, we go everywhere, you know? So but largely we're, you know, New Orleans is a big town, okay? But usually we're playing in somewhere that's like at the edge of a cornfield, and this is like, they've got their piercings and their tattoos and their leather, and they're like, we are the horror group of this town. And so when they see, oh, here's little Jason and his band, and it's just, it's a bro love fest that is amazing. But again, mutually validating. Yes, I could sign their bass or whatever, you know, but again, for me, I get to watch these bands and you know, you know, even through the pandemic, we kept playing. We played in March, then we played in October, then we played recently in May. We toured, and we're going back out on tour again because everything's opening up again. But I think that it's crucial that people support those venues out there that have local rock bands, because they've always been good to us, and we want everybody to get out there and check them out. What was the place?
Definitely. And now that COVID is starting to close up, we can definitely get out. I feel like there's going to be a huge boom whenever everything's completely done. I feel like it's going to get really crazy because everybody's been building up this like for a long time, especially at a metal or a punk show. There's just everybody's going to be like So I'm excited, and please let me know if you come over here, because I would love to come see your show.
Well, there's a club in New Orleans. It's called Portside Lounge. I don't know if you've heard of Portside Lounge. It's a little off the beaten track. They do a bunch of shows there too, but just Creepy Fest. I know that they're already going to be doing it, and absolutely no, we're playing a bunch of stuff. So I think we're gonna be appearing. I think. Oh, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but that's just north of Birmingham. So, you know, we'll have to get some. You know what we are doing for sure that I could tell you that's confirmed in Katy, Texas, which is right near Houston, Texas. There's a club called the Wildcatter Saloon. We played there last Halloween, and they built like a haunted maze to my merch booth. This year, they've got Doyle from the Misfits as the headliner. So we're super honored. Yeah, we're super honored. We're going to be opening for Doyle. And yeah, that's when we found that out. That was.
I love the Misfits. I love the Misfits so much. They're so unique. They're so like just completely nuts. Like because if you didn't know who they were or what it was, and you listen to their music, they're like, I'm a teenage zombie. The like, you know, they're all that crazy stuff. I love it. It's so funny. Like, what's your favorite Misfits song?
Touring. Oh my God, I don't know. Halloween, maybe.
Yeah.
Halloween. I love that, man. You know.
I love Saturday because it sounds like it could basically be just like a doo-wop song, and then when you hear the lyrics, you're like, whoa, wait, hold on.
Vampires burning bright, pumpkin faces in the night. I remember Halloween, dead cats hanging from poles, little dead coming out in droves.
Dude, yeah, but I love that'd be crazy. I want to see that. That sounds amazing.
They're touring again. The Misfits are touring again. The Misfits. Now Doyle, of course, is Jerry Only's brother.
Right.
who took over at a certain point. But the thing is that he has his own band with his own songs, a little more, I guess, metal-y, a little more thrash. But it's amazing.
Who's
And,
singing?
you know,
Who's
oh
singing
gosh,
this right now?
oh, it's this cool guy who's got these amazing mutton chops, and I forgot his name.
It's a new guy?
That's bad. No, no, not for Misfits now. Misfits, it's Glenn Danzig.
Okay.
Of
Yeah, I
course.
wasn't sure if it was Danzig or
In,
Graves.
in Doyle's band. In Doyle's band, I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I thought you were
No,
saying
no,
the
no,
Misfits
Michael.
were going on tour again.
No, yes. Oh,
They
yeah,
are.
they're on Riot Fest, bro. They're on Riot Fest.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They're on Riot Fest with Glenn Danzig, Jerry Only, Doyle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
oh,
gotta
yeah.
see this. That sounds
Because
really
they
cool.
were supposed, they had a show, they were doing big arena shows just before the quarantine thing. So,
Really?
yeah, no.
I didn't know
Yes.
that.
They're on a bunch of festivals. Mainly festivals, but they're definitely on Riot Fest. You know, to be clear, the show we're playing with Doyle is much smaller. It's not a big event like Riot Fest, but you know, we love it.
I
But
like
the
that
Wild-
better. Like if I can ever get into a smaller venue with a band I want to see, I don't even really go to giant, huge stuff, honestly, because you're so far away and you can't get really
I
attached to
agree.
anything. It's
This
all
place-
just like, bleh.
For all your Texas fans, Wildcatter Saloon
Mm.
is a blast. It used to be a brothel in Katy, Texas. So it's a complex that's by a river, okay? And they have an indoor bar. They have a big outdoor, but it's not, you know, it's like a stage area with outdoor and it has tables and then there's place for people to watch the band. But like, gosh, they've had Tantric was just there, just played there. So, you know, they've got big, it's like, you know, it's a big little space. So it'll be perfect for Doyle and
Yeah, that'll be
No,
amazing. I was gonna ask you,
Oh,
did
no.
you like being at
and
the
wait,
very?
let me add. Houston Horror Film Festival will be sponsoring that show. It's October 30th at the Wildcatter.
I'm gonna put your like tags and stuff in the video and all that kind of stuff so everybody can get to it. Cause like I think that if anybody doesn't know, they would be really excited about that.
In fact, if you mention the MC Popsicle broadcast, I will give you a free autographed something.
Hey, whoa,
Cool.
thank you.
The
Wow,
cool
that's really
photos.
cool. Thank you
You
so
got it.
much. That's
You got
really, really awesome. I appreciate you. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So, one of my sponsors, this is like crazy because I was like, I've had this sponsor for, it's 1428 Nightmare Studios, and they make custom masks, and they've been doing that they've been my sponsor for like a year or two.
That's badass. I love that.
Yeah,
it looks
we
like
have,
a snow cone.
They do like the half masks also, so you can wear it with your. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen one of those before, where they have like
Yeah.
the mask cut off, like right here?
Yeah, Savini did a bunch of those for COVID. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I like the colors on that one. That's like looks like a snow cone, man.
Yeah, he made it for me because I was like, just make one that's
Yeah,
for me.
popsicle.
Yeah, so he made this one like custom for me. But yeah, I wanted to show you that because it's funny because.
What do they call that? They call that a bomb pop.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
rocket, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I just thought it was like so crazy that I happened to be sponsored by them, and then I'm talking to you today, so I wanted to show you that.
I think I know them. I
Oh,
think I
really?
know those guys.
I'll send you a
14,
link. I feel like you'd like it. They do a lot of really cool stuff. A
I've
lot of
definitely
really cool
heard of them
stuff.
before. Yeah.
But listen, buddy, it has been an honor to talk to you. I appreciate you very much. I had a really good time. You're a very good conversationalist, and I loved hearing everything you had to say. But so thank
you,
you very,
man.
very much.
Popsicle. When we come down to NOLA, we're gonna come and get you and hang out with Greta. Okay?
Please.
All right,
Thank you,
brother.
my friend. I'll talk to you later. I'll send this to you when I'm done.
Send me the links. Remember, Jason never dies.
Jason never dies. Amen, buddy. Thank you.
Stay good, brother.
Talk to you later.